America. Oh, favourite part of the day. Trudge. Oh, cheers. Hello. Hello, gorgeous. How are you doing? It is so good to be with you. Cheers to your health, to your happiness. Tell me where you're from. Oh, I'll give you a shout out. You're beautiful too. Oh, Carl Martino. Oh, mate, that is for you. You are the number one. That is, look at all those hearts for Kyle. Yes, you'll never walk alone. I can say that now, ever to the good. Doesn't bother me at all. Oh, it's a joy to be with you. Did we ever need this? Did we ever need this today? Oh, what a day of days. What a night of nights. Everything in sports is going unbelievably well for me. Everything in real life, pretty dark. But we are together. Oh, it is happy hour. We're going to raise a drink with a remarkable human being. And we are about to do this. Oh, hello Athens, Georgia. God love, that is one of my, well, it's definitely top 2 Athens. Guadalcanal Dari, God love you. Oh, if Rog sips, we riot. Hello, gorgeous. I need you too, America. I've got to say, what a crappy time it is right now. We need to do this more often. We need to be together. We need to chill out. We need to just take stock and appreciate what we've got while we've still got it. Oh, let's have a look. What is going on here? People asking me crazy, what's my favourite book of all time? Favourite book of all time? Probably Reunion by Fred Ullman. Google it. Go and get it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I did just read Man's Search for Meaning, which I think I tweeted about, and I highly recommend that right now, about living a life of purpose in the darkest reality and trying to find a sense of your own direction amidst chaos, which is fairly topical right now. What have we got going on here? Hello. Oh, hello, America. Here we go. All these beautiful hearts. You know what? What is going on? You didn't come to hang out with me, did you? Man United all day long, baby. You know, I'll give you that. I'll give you all day long. I'm not quite sure about all week long, all month long, or season long. But my God, Juan Mata, one of the loveliest guys in life. We have to savour that. Let's go Lakers. You know what? I've never really liked the Lakers, to be candid. Ever. They're often like United or the Yankees. I always felt like everything I didn't like in sports. But I got to tell you, Alex Caruso, with every ounce of energy in my heart, I adore that human being. To me, probably my favourite athlete in sports right now. He's exactly what I love, what I want in my life, what I want in my athletes. The story of tenacity, of never doubting yourself, of being written off. Oh, and just going for it. God love, Godspeed the Lakers. Yeah, you know what? Godspeed the Lakers. I'm all in this season and I cannot wait. Roll on 9 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, come be a Trailblazers fan. Oh, you know what? God, can I just raise this to all of you in Portland? One of the greatest cities. One of the things I think about most when I'm trapped here is the darkness of not being able to travel this great country of ours and just be with you all and raise a beer with you all across the nation. And Portland, fully enough, is a city that always comes to mind more than any when I think about where I would like to be first when I get out of this quarantine reality. God love to all of you. I have no idea where the lovely Midge is. I cannot wait to speak to her. She is just, right now, one of the great mix of human attributes in everything that I do love in an athlete. She's got so many skill sets on the field, off the field, the way she thinks on the field, the way she carries herself off the field, the way she is improving tenaciously, digging deep. I'm here, says me. You've got to ask. Oh, Midge, you've got to ask to join, and then I'll hook you up. Come on, come be with me. Just ask to join. People didn't come to hear Rog prattle on about America. They came on, yes, she's here. Everyone keeps telling me. You got to ask to join me. They came, oh, God love, Midge. They want to hear you, Rog. We need to hear about life, and we need to hear about approaches to life, tenacious approaches to life. There's no one better than Midge Purce when it comes to that. Oh, hallelujah. Midge Purce, cheers. God love. You're just watching me prattle on. You're just watching me. That was torture for America.
I was listening. I was like, geez, it's getting dark in here. He's going off about the dark days. I was like,
you know what? I'm just going to watch him. I'm just going to leave him hanging. That's the Midge way. Well, Midge, I want to do this for you. It's a joy to be with you. We need you, not me. Welcome to the Budweiser Instagram Live Happy Hour. God, we all need some cheer today. We really, really do. Oh my God, do we ever? To me, Rog, the Brad Guzan of podcasting, not here alone. I was for a bloody long time, but now having a bud first third of the day with a human being is one of the most singular
what's happening?
in the American game.
Wait.
What? Oh, it's amazing.
I don't know what's happening.
I know, but I love it. I love it. I love it.
Wait,
you know what?
I don't know how to make it
You know what?
stop.
I love it. Don't make it stop. America just got better, Midge. Oh,
No,
straight out of the Harvard Board of Overseers. She's an inimitable attacker, hailing from the mighty Olney, Maryland. She turned heads 2 seasons in Portland, but is now leading the charge with Sky Blue FC as they enter the 2nd season of their dramatic. Don't go. We love it. I love get that star stuff on the chat. I'm going to do it too. A player whose ability to score at will, matched only by her activism, which I admire greatly, as well as courageously controversial food takes. It's a joy to welcome Midge Purce. Midge!
Thanks for having me. Sorry I was late.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Cheers. Midge, I've got to say straight up top, I love watching you play with a mix of intelligence, power, composure. How would you describe Midge Purceball in your own imagination?
Goodness. I'm really just trying to score. That's really what it is.
Wherever they put you.
It's really the goal. And I think sometimes I lose sight. Like, people are like, come on, keep it. I'm like, we're trying to get the ball in the back of the net. let's get it done. But I think as I've gotten older, I've progressed my game and I'm a bit more mature and I can keep it now. I'm good with like the ticky-tacky play. So I see like the long-term like struggle to get to the goal. I'm with it.
We're going to talk about that growth. And we start in the beginning. The nickname Midge comes from being tiny when you were a kid on your first youth team. But your dad, James, I would love to meet James. He told you the importance of working hard. His phrase was, Midge, play big.
No, I don't know where that story came from. I heard it.
Fake news.
I don't think he said play big. He always said hustle. I've heard that someone else told me this story and I was like, my dad, I don't remember him saying that, but because he didn't call me Midge, he called me Maggie. But that story is out there circulating.
It is. I gotta say, James has got incredible PR people just seeding stories. He's trying to go right to the source of the myth of Midge. I made Midge my phrase, which is probably trademark. Play big. I love it. Whatever you're doing, your Twitter handle, 100%, all in. That kind of tenacious mindset between skill and tenacity, which has been more important to your rise.
Oh gosh. I think I've gotten by just traditionally a lot on tenacity more than skill, but I think as I've progressed as a player, I'm now starting to kind of rely more on skill and build that part of my game a lot more.
Were you a football fan growing up, Midge? Women's football, men's football, Premier League, what did you watch?
I was a huge Man U fan. I had a crush on Van Persie, thought like I was going to be, this was my dream. Van Persie Purce is what I thought.
That's great.
And
Midge Van Persie.
Yeah, that was my dream.
What did you like about him?
He just finished. He was all in around the box. And like the Van Persie I felt fit well with my name. But yeah.
He wishes. He's just a Dutch Midge Purce. At Harvard, you studied psychology and neurobiology, just your average Manchester United fan. You thought about being a pediatric psychiatrist. I'm now scared of everything, every piece of research we've done may come from James Purce's telling of the story. It may not be accurate. Correct everything. You know, there's not too many pediatric psychiatrists in the game of football. How do you balance that side of your brain, the intellectually curious side, with football, which is so often a game of muscle memory and instinct?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think football is I think football's chess. I really do. It's just a big chess game, and no matter, and I play typically like not in the middle of the field, like where all those people are on the outside, not the wings, like either up top or outside back. And I'm just like the whole time you're trying to manipulate. That's just usually like one person or two people. So I think it's really cerebral.
Is there anything you miss about academic life now you're a footballer, by the way?
No, I keep pretty busy.
I mean, but Harvard is many things, but a soccer powerhouse, it's not. When you came into the NWSL, drafted alongside players from powerhouses, UCLA, Stanford, USC, mentally, how was that for you? Were you just like, bring it on? Or was it a bit like, this is interesting?
So like the draft happened when we were actually in a national camp. So like Rose was there, I was there. I think the entire first draft class, like first round draft class was like in camp. And I honestly didn't almost go because I thought I wasn't going to get drafted. I think Steve Swanson was in that camp, and he was like, "You're not going to the draft," and I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Go," and I was like, "Okay." And so I ended up going just because I had this dress that I wanted to wear, and it needed to be seen, but it ended up working out.
That's incredible. I love that. The dress needed to be seen. It ended up working out, and then some. You ended up in Boston with the late great Breakers. Suddenly, you know what? Something that your dad said again, or something that is said that your dad said, or something that is said that your dad likes to say that he said, and he may or not have said, is, I mean, you say the dress needed to be seen. He says, if you're good enough, they'll find you.
That he does say.
Get in. I mean, it's true for you. I mean, Harvard is not the place where you scout. Harvard is not the place you pluck from. But towards the end of your time at Harvard, you did get your first call of from the US women's national team. What does that life truth mean? Put it into words for a simpleton like me. If you're good enough, they'll find you.
Gosh, so originally when I was doing all my visits and looking at schools, like I fell in love with UVA. I was down at UNC. I was like, I'm going to Stanford. Like and my dad was like, are you dumb? And he was like, you're going to Harvard. And I was like, okay. So I went, and the whole reason I wanted to go to other schools, because obviously they're powerhouses. They like have like big players go to national team. They have like long histories of winning and everything. And that was really what was kind of driving my decision making. And he just kept saying, he was like, if you're good enough at Harvard, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are. And yeah.
I like that. I love the way he operates. Are you dumb? You're going to Harvard. They should have that. By the way, they should get rid of that Latin crap that they have on the plaque, and they should have that banged on the thing. Are you dumb? You're going to Harvard. And God, it was true. If you're good enough, they'll find you. The Boston Breakers found you. The late great Breakers, true to their name, they dissipated. Suddenly you're in Portland, the mecca of football. Huge love to everyone in Portland, Oregon. What a beautiful city. What a beautiful state. Love. I mean, the mecca.
Love.
The mecca of football, the Thorns. I hope a taste of all that is to come for women's soccer around the world, for women's sports around the world. What was that transition like for you, though, to start to play every game in front of 30,000 fans and the mighty Riveters?
It was night and day. It was transformative. I was like, I'm a pro athlete. Like I went from ice bathing in the Harvard football away team's trailer. Yes, that is where we ice bathed in Boston Breakers. I was ice bathing.
It's the big time. It's the pros.
There was one day I was walking to the trailer and the men's basketball team walked by and they were like, Midge, Midge, where are you going? And I was like, huh? And I was like trying to hide myself because they were like, I thought you got drafted. Like, what was that thing going on in the field? And I was like, oh, I did. Like, we were just like playing around, like doing a video. Like, so
Ain't no big thing. Look over there, guys. Bill Belichick is over there. Run.
literally. And so going to Portland, I really felt like a pro. And I mean, I loved everything about Portland, the city, just the club, the girls. It was fantastic.
In Portland, you started to play different positions. Wing back, whole new ball game. I mean, Midge, you play so many bloody positions. Defender, attacker, winger, wing back. A tribute to the many strengths people see in your game. But what position is your favorite?
Honestly, whichever one puts me on the field, I don't care.
You really don't? Question from GFOP at David C. Stewart. Why shouldn't Midge, by law, play forward at all times?
I guess because there are some games where I don't score, and so they were like, get back there.
Do you worry about being seen as the flexi goddess of all trades and boss of none?
I will never worry about being seen as a goddess, but no, I think it helps. I think it helps a lot.
It does. I mean,
Yeah.
you ever worried that you're so versatile? Like there were two Neville brothers. There was Gary Neville, who played one position quite well, and there was Phil Neville, who played lots of positions extremely well. But because he was a cursed utility player in American sports, is that something that's ever at the back of your mind? That unless you define yourself, people are going to always say, well, she's not really that, and she's not really that, and it can actually undermine your perception.
Yeah, no, because I think no matter where I'm playing, like my style is exactly the same, and I don't think there's much expected of me that's different from where I'm playing. I think no matter where I am, I'm wanted to go 1v1, get crosses in, get shots, regardless of how deep it is. It's just a lot more running to get there.
Midge Van Persie, the great Crystal Dunn has talked openly and seriously and really heartbreakingly about how hard it can be for African American players to be valued for what they can really bring to a team, to a game, to a squad. She talked about intelligence, guile, craft, tactical savvy, technique, how often they're just judged by stereotypes, positionally forced into hard running, hard charging roles. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, 100%. And also I just love Crystal. I just wanted to put it out there in case anyone else wanted to jump on the bandwagon.
The greatest,
Yes.
possibly the
gosh.
most effective striker we have in the NWSL. And it's one of the questions in everybody's mind. Why is she playing left back
100%.
for the US Women's
100%.
National Team? And how she processes that that is a series of challenging thoughts that go through a player's head. How do you process it?
Yeah, I remember there was a time when I was on this team and it was a summer league team and I got benched and I asked the coach, I was like, why am I not playing? And he said, because you score ugly goals. And I remember going to my dad and he said I scored ugly goals. Like I don't know what that means. But my dad was like, you just gotta keep pushing. But yeah, no.
How old were you when your coach said that?
15, 16.
I mean, I've got to say, I spent some time with Crystal filming in her hometown before the last World Cup, and she said to me, she said, I feel like I have to prove myself twice as hard constantly as the other kids on the team. And she talks about how she longs to be the African American goal scoring face of the US Women's National Team. God, soon may that be the case and not the left back. I mean, is it something that's in the past, or do you feel like it's constantly something that you're grappling with?
Yeah, I have. I've had a lot of experience with that. And I think even now, I think I'm old enough that I kind of laugh about it with like other teammates who've experienced the same thing, because it's hard when you go through it, but I mean, it builds a drive and a work ethic that I don't think, I mean, some people have it, but it's just part of the game right now. So
That's it. That's how you. I mean, you've spoken beautifully, I've got to say, about the singular challenges African American players face in the women's game. It's remarkable. I admire you so much as a player on the field, and I say this with huge respect because your playing is elite. I admire you just as much for the way you articulate, the way you are able to express deeply, deeply complex issues in ways that, honestly, I mean, I wish we didn't have to have you play these dual roles and we could just revel in your football, your goals, your glory. But that's how you summon it. You dig deeper and you say to yourself, I'm going to go deeper, I'm going to go harder. You know, your dad saying when you were young, just show them you're twice as good if that's what they need. That's how you, it's just inside you. That's how you process it.
my dad also just texted me and said, I remember saying play big. So I guess.
There you go. I've got to just tell you, I love your dad. James, if you're watching this, it's true. I have a daughter. She doesn't listen to a word I tell her either. It's amazing. But bull journalists, years later, do listen to your crap. It's amazing. To you, to dads, to unbelievable daughters, is the honest truth.
To dads.
And unbelievable daughters who surpass their fathers in every single way, in every bloody single way. But that's how you process it. Essentially, you dig deeper and you use it to further yourself on the field.
Yeah, you can't change, like, you can't always change your circumstance. I mean, I think sports teaches everyone you control the controllables. And if that's like the cards that you're dealt, I mean, you have no choice but to sink or be twice as good. So,
Question from a GFOP at Dan Maynard Smith. Midge, you were a legit player on the bubble for the 2019 World Cup squad when injury knocked you out of contention. Where were you mentally on missing out? Were you crushed, honestly, or were you philosophical about it?
oh gosh, okay, I'm gonna be really honest.
Please.
Like, really honest. I would get kind of like sick watching in the beginning because I wanted to be there so badly. And I felt like I could do it and I just didn't do it. Like, I just missed on so much. But I mean, they're great. They did amazing. They're all amazing. But yeah, no,
I think that it's genuinely fascinating. The film I made with Crystal Dunn, she was the last player cut from the 2015 side. And again, she was cut because she was seen as versatile, and that's how they explained it all away. And when I made the film with her, it was on the brink of the 2019 squad. I was at home in Long Island. She still sobbed as she relived that and talked about the pain and the suffering that caused her and how hard it was for her to even watch the games. I mean, watching the games was a trauma for her. She said, I remember this in the podcast. She said it, so this is public. She said, it was a trauma for me. She said, I drank my way through the games with her now husband.
I believe it. I believe it. No, it's like, it's a sport. It's like what you do, but it cuts so deep. It's what you do, you know?
It is what you do. And you do, I mean, again, you dug deeper. You really did it. During that World Cup, you stepped into the spotlight in the absence of a lot of the team's stars who'd left to play in that World Cup. I mean, how did you process that and be like, this is my chance to shine? Because shine you did.
Yeah, I mean, I was at that time struggling to get into the Portland team at that, you know, like there was a lot going on, and I didn't really have a choice but to really do something. That's how it felt.
So how do you think about 2023? Like, in your mind, what is like mentally, what are you telling yourself, Midge?
I just am like, stay as ready as you can, be the best you possibly can. Like, it's not COVID sports, like training, you know what I mean? Like, you're still training. Like, it's the same exact requirements, the same exact standard, or honestly elevated. I think this year is like the year of technique because you have so much time alone that you like your crosses need to be sharp, your finishing needs to be sharp, everything needs to be a lot sharper. So I mean, I'm working for it. I mean, fingers crossed, but I'm doing everything I can. And you know, you sink or swim, and that's life. So
I love that.
hopefully.
The year of technique, 2020, the year of technique. Oh, I'm going to give you 2 words of advice. Play big, Midge. Play big. Words your dad said that you didn't listen to, that he has to text you now. I've got you, James. I've got you. I've got you back in every way. What do you believe you have to work on? I mean, I do love this quote of yours. I think when I listen to great players talk about the game, they speak like students of the game. There's a mindset I hope to maintain forever, to learn, because I'm not where I want to be as a footballer. I am never going to be satisfied with where I am. That, by the way, is words to live by. That's not just for football, but everybody watching should take that into their own life in every way. But what do you believe you have to work on, Midge?
Everything. Like, I think that, like, I'll get my stats back and I'll see that I lost a 1v1 and I'm like, why did I lose that 1v1? Or like my passing percentage, it's not in the 90s. I'll be like 75 to 85, 86, and I'm slow. So why am I missing passes? My crosses, they don't all connect. Like my crosses need to be sharper. I mean, literally everything needs to be progressed. So we're working on all of it.
At Sean Tafaraneka tweeted to ask, how would you describe having Malpew as a teammate, another player with so much potential to unfurl? What does that feel like, that connection?
I mean, Mal is just like, she's it, right? Like, she's just, I don't know what else to say about good players. Like, people ask about like Rose, they ask about Mal. They're unreal. Like, they're so good. And it's honestly, I think the best way to describe it is it's more fun. Like, it's significantly more fun to play with really good players, no matter who it is.
Yeah, I love the way you reduce things to simplicity itself. Just more fun, good players, joy and glory. I mean, you've been very vocal in a wonderful way. I talked about this earlier. I believe it deeply. In the wake of the Black Lives Matter protests of the summer, you worked on the Player Association draft of their statement. As an African-American woman, what were your emotions in that moment? Did you feel pressure to step up and lead the conversation? Or was it a welcome opportunity? Finally, football wants to hear about my experience, listen to what I have to say. Or was it more like, oh my God, it's 2020 and we have to do this. Let's do it. What was it really?
Honest, it was a little of all of it. Yeah, no, it was a little all of it, but I think it was kind of like a lot of like, it's 2020, like, goodness gracious, and this is what we're still doing. Real, like, we don't get it yet. Like, you haven't read a book yet. Schools are still teaching this. Was like a lot of the sentiment. Like, I'm still having this conversation, and you're still not getting it. But also just really, really satisfying, though, to come together with so many other Black women. Like, it honestly was such a like, it feeds your soul, I think. Like, the energy of being with all these girls who are so energized and so committed to making actual differences in football for, like, young Black women and women just in general was so, it was enriching. It was amazing.
Yeah, there's a phenomenal piece in The Athletic by Meg Linehan, and I really admired the statement that you made in it. You said it's crucial to understand that open hate isn't the only way that racism manifests itself. Racism is complex. It can be very nuanced. It allows you to like my dad, think he's a great guy, while simultaneously supporting, perpetrating, and being indifferent towards systems and culture strategically designed to oppress him. Make no mistake, that's still racism. I mean, it's incredible how you stepped up in those moments. I mean, that leadership role that you're playing.
Thank you.
I mean, does it feel like, oh my God, we've really got to do these interviews? I want to do the football, or is there a connection between the two that is actually incredibly energizing and freeing to be finally able to say this stuff that you've kept silent about?
It is like, I think the initial feeling is kind of like, here we go. Like, you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know how well things are going to be received, because for so long, I think a lot of Black women, Black men have just navigated the world understanding that these are things you don't speak to.
Absolutely.
You know, you let it happen. Yeah. And you keep it pushing. And that's just how you move. And so now it's like you're speaking to it, and it's something people haven't like seen. So are they really going to attribute that much like veracity to it? Are they going to actually take it that seriously? But it was nice. It was great to be supported, and it was great to, I mean, I stand by that statement 100%. And it's something that I think a lot of people struggled to understand. So I'm glad that I put it out there.
I want to thank you for doing both. I really, really do, because I mean, the world needs to change. America needs to change. This is totally selfish. American football also needs to change. American women's football unbelievably needs to change. And watching you step up has been, I mean, it's been a light in the darkness, because we're all living in chaos. We're all searching for ways to be active. Watching you more than just about anybody that I know, you moved to Sky Blue. You're training with the US women's national team. I mean, if that's not enough, it came while you ran for Harvard's Board of Overseers, the school which you have changed the slogan for. Are you dumb? You're going to Harvard. You now are on the governing body for that school in Cambridge. You ran on a platform of climate crisis, divestment of fossil fuels, divestment from the prison industrial complex. You really do it all, Midge. So when you shut your eyes at night, I need to know, what do you dream about?
Hear about all this stuff. I actually have, my dad is like, you need to stop watching the shows you watch, because I have the wildest, I watch Blacklist before I go to sleep. And so I have dreams that I get kidnapped, like people are like injecting me, like I have crazy dreams.
That's Harry Maguire's life when he goes on holiday in Greece. That's so essentially what you're telling me is you've got your football life, you don't dream about that. You've got your activist life, you don't dream about that. You're dreaming of James Spader.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you dream about as a footballer, Midge?
I'm sorry?
What do you dream about as a footballer?
Oh, is that what you meant?
No, I didn't. I genuinely, I did mean, I didn't think it would go to James bloody Spader. I thought it would either be about the world in general or it would be about football in America. But we can talk about Spader. We can go back to some of his earlier works. I'm very happy to talk about Pretty in Pink or whatever. But what do you dream about for football in America?
Oh my gosh. All right. So for football in America, what I really want to happen is to play soccer here, football, it's so expensive. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not the sport that's for everyone. It's not the people's sport. And it's sad. It's devastating. And I'm sorry, like this is not a controversial take. Never mind. I'm not sorry. I mean, our men could really benefit from having a larger pool of individuals who are willing to dedicate and commit their time to playing football in the United States. So I just think there needs to be just an all-around investment. And we have our Black Women's Player Collective, when we're working to give scholarships to kids so that they can play soccer, just put more fields for girls. That's something that I have like a really big issue with, because even now I'll go to a field and I'll be like training, or I'll be doing some finishing, and there'll be a group of guys and they're playing pickup, and they'll just slowly just eat up my space where I'm playing. And last time I got so mad, I punted their ball away. I was like, this is ridiculous. We're not doing it anymore. So I think we're gonna make a lot of strides. Like I hope football is something that's open to everyone at competitive elite levels. Like that's the dream.
I love it. America. And by the way, I'm glad. I'd always talk to you, Midge, about James Spader, but I'm so glad we talked about that. I'm drinking a toast. May football become, I mean, this is crazy to say this, may football become the people's game in America. I mean, that is a mad Everywhere, football is a working class game. It is the game
I
of,
know.
I mean, it's the game that everybody can access apart from here. May we all do our part in making that. So, what do you dream about for yourself, Midge? Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
You broke up 1 second. You gotta go again.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
10 years. Am I frozen?
You are cutting all out. I think you're doing it on purpose, so you don't have to tell us where you'll be in 10 years' time.
Geez, how 20, 35.
As a footballer.
Gosh, I probably won't be playing. I probably won't be playing. I feel it. In 10 years?
Yeah. You'll
Yeah,
be president. You'll be president of the United States of America. Is that what you're trying to say? Is this where you're announcing your run?
I watched the debate yesterday. It doesn't really look like it's for me. I don't
I've got to say, if we ever needed a Midge Rose Lavelle ticket, oh my God, it is about now. But to be candid, I think you can probably thrive in any debate because you do have incredibly strong opinions, especially about food. My favorite one of yours: when are we going to stop allowing them to call them boneless wings? They are not wings, they are nuggets, or occasionally chicken tenders. Boneless wings are a myth. You've got some hot takes.
I don't think they're that hot. I think they're passionate truths. I think we are in an epidemic of misinformation where people are being fed lies consistently. And I'm just trying to do my part to help the next generation not erroneously label nuggets wings.
If only the misinformation was purely about chicken wings, I'd be a much happier human being. But Midge, last question. These are chaotic days for the world, for America, for all of us right now. I'm going to give the floor to you. What do you tell yourself when you are down and you do need a lift? Make the case for us here. Make the case for optimism, Midge.
First, I usually call my dad, and he's like, relax. It's not that bad. He says, you've got everything. You're fine. But honestly, I think this year especially, I've been moving to not have my source of peace and joy be anything in the external world. And I think, it's really important to move away from being so dependent on things that we can't control to be like our source of peace and what makes us okay. So like finding something else like within yourself that you can depend on to just, keep it cool, keep it consistent.
Like what, Midge? What do you look to?
I'm religious, so for me it's religious, it's God. But I just like to look at how blessed I am. And I think honestly, anyone, especially if you live in the United States, you can find something that you are extremely blessed to have, whether it's your family, it's your friends, it's the fact that you have air conditioning and you can eat and drive down the street and go to McDonald's. I am so privileged in so many ways, and it could be so much worse. And I just think we should focus on how to help other people.
I'm so grateful to have you in your life. I'm so grateful to your father, James, who I do look forward to meeting as soon as this COVID is over. I'm even grateful to people that call boneless chicken wings. I'm chill. I have a big tent when it comes to the chicken stuff. But Midge, I do raise my bud to you. You are a light in the darkness. It's genuinely a joy for all of us to lift the bud with you. I raise mine with great love to you, your club, Sky Blue. May all your dreams come true on and off the field. To you, Midge.
I don't have a bud. I'm sorry, I don't have a bud.
Midge, so just to recap, you got here late. You pretended your dad didn't say important things that he did do, and now you can't even toast me back. And you know what? You've still been magnificent. I've loved every second. To you, Midge, first. Rock on. Courage.
Thank you.